Months ago, I picked up a 1986 Honda XR250. We got it back to the shop, inventoried what was in the boxes, and started a parts list. Then we got the frame off the powder coat, cleaned up a bunch of parts and got them painted. Suspension was sent out to Race Tech, and we started tearing into the engine. Now it's time to finish tearing down the motor, clean the wheels, put fresh bearings and seals in all the movie bits, clean and polish the tank, you know, all the fun stuff. But before we get into all that, you may have noticed a slightly more slender Craig. Let me tell you how that happened.
Where are the kids? Did you forget to pick the kids up at camp?
That was me just a few short weeks ago. Stiff, sore, and out of shape. Now let's face it, guys, we give our wives enough reason to yell at us throughout the week. And not exercising when we say we will shouldn't be one of them. And that's why I've been using Trainwell, because being accountable to a real life person holds a lot more weight than being accountable to just an app. All jokes aside, teaming up with Trainwell has been really good for me. You see, the older you get, the more the doctor's advice changes. You gotta eat better, you have to go for a walk. Have you thought about yoga? Maybe goat yoga. You need to learn to control your stress better. And the list goes on and on and on. So after a few doctor's visits like that, I decided it was time to do something about it. But it had to be easy. Trainwell will plan and schedule your at-home or in-gym workout for you. There's no thinking on my end, and I love it. Check. It had to be flexible. No joke, a few days after signing up, I had a health issue pop up. My trainer Rod was really easy to work with, and he modified my program accordingly. I'm giving that one a check. And I needed accountability. Real human to human interaction accountability. My trainer Rod has been awesome to work with. The onboarding process was super easy and a great experience. I had a face-to-face call with my trainer Rod, and that really helped solidify that human to human interaction I was looking for. And if I get lazy, he is right there, checking in, calling me out, and giving me the motivation I need to get back on track. And the best part is, it's not my wife that's yelling at me. Check. My goals were pretty simple. I just wanted to be able to outrun that boot, and maybe being able to touch my toes again would be cool. Whether you want to get super swole at the gym or just improve your flexibility, maybe work on cardiovascular, click my Trainwell link in the description below to get your 14-day free trial with an expert trainer. Now, it's time for us to get back to work on this bike. Whew, there we go. It's not bad. Play here. Feels all right. There isn't any up and down play. All right, so what I'm looking at, there's a little mark here on the top of the piston on the intake valve side. And there's a slight one right here on that valve. So I was looking for any up and down play, and I'm not coming up with anything. Back to disassembly, I guess. Oh no, the case is busted. Nice. Look at that. Well, they did a decent job with it. I'll be darned. Look, see, welded. It's not what I wanted to happen. The clutch hub nut is loose. Look at that. Hey, that would have made a racket. And then let's just slide all that off together. Is there any washers back here? Did it stay on? Doesn't mean there isn't supposed to be one. Just remember that. Okay, so it's built in here. That slides in there. This is where we get a zip tie. Everything else looking here. Okay, obviously that's broke. That's a tight one. Source coil. This is what tells the plug to fire. It reads off of this little arm here. I'll show you in a second. It's a little Hall effect sensor basically. Boom, and just every time that comes around, it goes bang. Suction. There it comes. Okay, oil pump. It's an oil pump gear. And I guess we're here. Oh man, if it looks like I'm struggling, it's because my elbow is killing me from braking this weekend. Pull out of there. This wiggles out. This goes here. Dowel pin there, dowel pin there. Oh, another dowel pin. There we go. And we have a gasket, of course. Pull the cam chain guide. What was that? Is there a washer there? No, thought I heard something fall. Okay, cam chain. So what? You can't get the. There it is. I was gonna say. Alright, is this staked? No. Guess I can pop the piston out. Yeah, wow. That was tight. Looks pretty new. Actually, a lot of stuff in here looks fairly new. Kick shaft, that's the one we got new, or used, new used. There we go. Oh, why is it always the last one? Dang it. Ugh. Oh, there's a white. All right, now it's time to go into my vapor hone, which is nothing more than a Harbor Freight sandblaster with a bucket and a pump. Works, kind of. Oh, you gotta be freaking kidding. The camera fell and just broke the glass. So, there it is out of the vapor hone. Still not done cleaning. I have all those parts bagged up. I have other parts cooking and degreasing, working through that. Now I'm gonna start bolting some stuff to the frame and doing all the little knick-knackety stuff in the meantime. Yes, that's actually one of my favorite parts. That way, nailed it. fender, air boot clamp. Okay, that won't fall off. Mud flap. All right. Fender. Boom sauce. Airbox gasket. Fresh new airbox seal. Done. And air filter. Got lucky with this one. I didn't have a cage. Luckily, my buddy Shucker saved me and had a cage. Had one of these. Throw them back on the bike. And this thing's gonna go. Okay, so there. And then this is here. All right, cool. Now, obviously, you want to oil your air filter and all that stuff, but we're not there yet. We're just at the making sure we got all the parts phases. All right, cool. That'll work. And then side cover, boom, covers that. I guess I gotta keep digging through the box here. We could do swing arm. Oh, come on, you gotta fit. Wait, you go fit back here. A lot of parts are rolling in for this bike. A lot of the engine parts came back from Cerakote. I think I'm still waiting on a couple bearings though, so I don't know. We may start putting the engine together and see how far we get. But I got a lot of this really fun stuff to do, like take the wheels, take tires off, clean up these wheels, clean up the spokes, clean up the hubs, brakes, sand, and make this tank look a lot better. Pull this seat apart. I got a better seat cover to put on here. So I'm gonna work at doing that stuff. I don't know, we're just gonna kind of see where the day takes me. I think first step is, let's do a wheel. Think of a whole lot more fun things I'd rather be doing than polishing spokes. Now that the tire's off, we're gonna get the rim cleaned up and hopefully get the rust off these spokes, get them cleaned up nice, get them all tight. Oh man, a lot of corrosion in there. Yeah. Ugh. That's ugly. Okay, so step one is actually pretty simple. I'm just gonna take some soapy water, spray everything down, get the big chunks off, get it cleaned up a little bit, and then I'm actually gonna soak it. Well, you'll see. You will see. All right, now that we have a good first cleaning on this wheel, I want to get these spokes cleaned up a little bit. So what I'm going to try is I found a container this wheel kind of sits in. I'm going to fill it up with evaporust and I'm going to let it sit for a little bit. Hopefully that's going to help loosen up the spokes, dissolve some of the rust, clean them up a little so that I can go in and give them a final cleaning and get everything cinched down nice and tight. Okay, now that I have the front wheel soaking in a bunch of evaporust, I'm going to do the same thing to the rear tire. I'm going to take it to the tire machine, get the tire off the tube out, throw it up here on the stand, give it a good general cleaning. Hopefully by then that one's done soaking and I can put the rear tire, the rear wheel, right into the evaporust. I'm just trying to clean up the spokes here a little bit. Make the job of cleaning the spokes up a little bit easier, actually, is what I'm trying to do. And then while that's soaking, I'm going to go back and continue sanding the tank. It's all part of doing the thing and the, you know, restoring a bike. It takes work. It's amazing. Okie dokie. Huh, why don't we have a nut on there? That's not good. Gonna need to find a chain adjuster too. Okay, well, we're gonna pull the brakes. That's what you want, a bunch of oil and grease and dirt on your brakes. Oh, that spacer's in. These XRs have this crazy little deal here. You got to spin that out, and then the seal and the bearing and the spacer, all that comes out with that. So let's get this thing to the tire machine. Get this old Kenda off here. Tire's not horrible. Might be able to save that for another bike one day. Ugh. Oh boy, look at that. That is not what you want to see on your rim. That is corrosion, and it's actually so bad it's eating the aluminum. Stay. Thank you. Boy, this is not what you want to find. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, that's not good. Boy, this is bad. Again, I just start with soap and water. Get all the big chunks off, get them pretty clean. And then they go into the evaporust. Try to keep that as clean as I can because that stuff's reusable for quite a while, especially when you can keep some of these other contaminants out the best you can. Makes a big difference. How's this thing doing? So it's just kind of taking the worst off. And then I can come back in with a little red cloth, a little fine steel wool, or some of this red cloth, and just clean up the bits. All right, we'll let that soak. Okay. Even though these rims have rim locks, I don't know if you'll be able to see, but there is little grooves on the bead of this wheel here and here. And what they do is they actually help, when the tire's inflated, they actually help hold the tire in place as well. So you want to make sure you get that area nice and clean when you put on a tire. Keep it clean. This one here has a lot of work to go until that is all clean in that area. But I just keep working it back and forth. Scrape a little, sand a little, soapy water a little. Just keep going around until it's where I want it to be. Until it makes me happy. I'm just using my pocket knife for this, or probably a better tool, but this little pocket knife here, I love. I use it all sorts of times for screwdrivers, prier, scraper. Every once in a while, I even cut something with it. Everybody's gonna ask in the comments, it's a Schrade. Schrade, if you're watching, I need more. It's always good to have a backup or two. I feel like most guys can relate with that. Losing a pocket knife is the worst, man. Because you get one, you really like it, becomes a part of you. And then you leave it lay on your bumper when you're cutting the zip tie off the trailer connector or something stupid, and you lose it. And then you have to wait a few days till you can get a replacement. Same with flashlights. Okay, and let me find sprocket, make sure I have that sprocket. And we're getting close here to pulling this wheel out and putting that other one in. No, just let that keep soaking. All right, sprocket. Yeah. Brake rotor bolts and sprocket bolts and nuts are one-time use. And if you're anything like me, you'll put red Loctite on them. So when you go to take them off, a little heat is in order. Hold on, get my smacker. Come here, rat shit. Can I get a good purchase on there, please? You have to. Okay, and we'll get this all cleaned up pretty good before we slap it in the evaporust. Right? Right. Yes. More soapy water. Take my butter brush and my sponge to the, let's go out the hose. All right, that's kind of clean. That's gonna go in there next. Need to order sprocket bolts. I need to get this all cleaned up. I need to find my axle adjustment, my chain adjuster. Might have to find one of them online. Brakes, get all that cleaned up so that that can go back together. Spokes are soaking. Clean all this up. And while this stuff is soaking, we're gonna go right into, we gotta finish sanding the tank and work at getting that polished up so that that's ready to go. Okay, we got a lot of work to do. Let's keep doing it. But for now, how about you guys come back in a minute and this stuff here will be cleaned up. All right, let's see if this works. Ready? All right, so while the wheels are soaking, I'm gonna go back to sanding. I started with 320 grit, went 600 grit, and then I'm gonna hit 800, 1,000, 15, 2,000 wet sanding, and then it's off to the polisher. The idea is to make it look a lot nicer than it was, which we're doing, because after all, I mean, this bike's gonna be a rider. It's not a museum piece. So this is what it is after 600 grit. If I wanted to really get aggressive, I could probably take more of this off with a heavier grit, but like I said, it's gonna be fine. Hit that a little bit. So I got some pitting in here. That stuff will be fine. That's on the bottom anyway. Sticker's gonna go here. So yeah, I have a couple hours left of sanding to do, and then polishing or buffing. So probably what I'm gonna do is put on my earbuds and get to work. Do 800, time for 800. I'm back at it with 1,000 grit. And I am using a soft pad here on the DA. That helps me get into the contours and around the edges, things like that. Look, everybody, Dan's here. All right, same process. Out to give this thing soapy bath, come back in, clean it off. All right, then it gets wiped down with a clean cloth again. Not too worried about the underside. Nobody gonna see that. Okay, so the scratches are getting finer and finer. This is coming out pretty nice. I like it. That was our second run of 1,000. Now we go to 1,500. You see, it doesn't even feel like there's any sort of grit on them. We did 2 rounds of 1,000. Now we're going to do 2 rounds of 1,500. And I'm taking this up to 2,000. So when we hit 2,000, we're gonna move on to the polishing and buffing. Buffing, then polishing? Polishing and buffing? I don't know. You guys know what I mean. All right, that was 1,500. Give it a bath, come back, do 2,000. Oh, easy now. Wet this down, wet down the tank, just like we did the other 12 times. Okay, that's holding up nicely. I'm gonna keep going. This is giving us a preview of what it's going to look like. I'm going to be happy. It's coming out pretty nice. If you remember what it looked like before this was all, yeah, it was horrible. Put a picture in what it looked like before, and now check that out. It's going to be good. All right, that was 2 rounds of 2000. Soapy bath, clean towel. We start buffing. Do we buff then polish, or do we polish then buff? What's the difference? Look at this. I'm really, really happy with the way this is turning out. Getting super happy. It's funny, you can tell. Looks like there was a decal. Looks like there was a few decals on this. One up here, one here, and then there was one down here at one time too. I know it's really hard to see, but you can see the outline there, and then you can see these two shadows here. Hopefully when I start buffing and polishing, that is gonna come back and fade in a little bit. We're finished with the sanding. I guess it's time to move on to the next step. I need to grab a little cleaner for that. We're gonna switch tools, and it's time to rock and roll again. What I really like on this XR kit, you know, the rear wheel bearing is held on by this bearing holder here, and they give you a new one in the kit, which is super awesome because a lot of times, just like this one, these holes are all chooched up. Nice kit. The other thing I really like about these kits, you get a double seal bearing, sealed on each side. And that's nice because they're single side shielded. So there you have one shielded side, one open side. The All Balls and Pivot Works kits give you double shielded, which is nice on wheel bearings. I like that. So let's pull those out. And then we're gonna slam the new. I will be glad to be done with these wheels. Well, you guys didn't see, you probably saw 30 seconds of this. This was like a good day and a half's worth of work, getting these wheels cleaned up. But it's all gonna be worth it. That's what I always say. So I just been keeping soapy water here handy to kind of give this stuff a rinse when I pull it out of the evaporust. And I'm not soaking this stuff for long. I mean, this was 30 minutes maybe. So if you guys are curious about all these abrasive wheels and different things you've been seeing me use, I got them from a company called Prime, P-R-Y-M-E, primemx.com, I believe. I went through, I think the medium-sized wheel here got me through one wheel. So, and they were pretty light. I would say figure 2 wheels, or 2 of these wheels per dirt bike wheel when you're cleaning spokes and doing different things like that. All right, time to recover the seat. Seriously though, what do you guys think? Bearded mechanic garage aprons? Huh? What do you think? This is gonna be really interesting. I've owned this bike now for a while. This is the first time I'm actually looking at the seat. I think there's the seat cover. I think there's a cover on top of the cover. So I'm gonna start pulling it apart here and see what we have. You're coming out now, you little sucker. No way. What? There is a blue, that's what it should be, blue seat cover. Chances are though, it's not gonna be nice. A lot of staples in here. There it is. A little damage there, a little damage there. But all in all, that's not bad for an 86. Shucks, man, that thing's almost 40 years old. I do have a new cover, so I am gonna put on a new cover. But for a bike you're gonna go ride and have some fun with and whatever, that thing there would be perfectly fine. But since the rest of the bike is looking so good, we're gonna make the seat look good too. Pull some of these staples. What? Is there 3 seat covers on this thing? There's another seat cover under this. There's 3 of them.
What?
What? No way. There's 3 seat covers on this seat. Uh-huh.
Craig, why does it keep changing colors?
I know, right? It's like a sherbet cone. Look at
the fact that there's another seat. Oh, yo, that's actually really nice.
Ah.
Just patch that up.
All right, just
Just
put this under it.
whatever.
Jeez, I gotta do this again?
Well, good luck with that.
All right, third time's a charm. 3. Huh, we might need to address this. We gotta get this cleaned up good, and that seat foam needs to be reestablished onto the plastic here. Okay, the seat is dry and as clean as I can get it. It's gonna get glued back onto the base. I'm gonna let that set up overnight, and then it is time to put the seat cover on. So there's just a crack in the seat foam here. So I'm just gonna spray that down, put it on pretty heavy. It's all right. Let it tack up. So while that is tacking up, what do I wanna spray this on? Because this is gonna be a mess. I'm not sure how much of a mistake I can make here. Not much. Oh, come on. Just about perfect. That'll work nicely. Geez, I got this thing 4 inches from the seat and I already got glue on it. I better just wait. Makes sense. I think I'm gonna let the glue dry a bit. Okay. Dan, okay.
Craig.
Dan, okay.
It's okay, Craig. I'm here.
Now that a lot of that mundane work is done, you know, the stuff that's fun, it's all part of redoing an old bike. So if you enjoy that was enjoyable. It just takes time. Let's start putting this thing together though, because I'm really excited to get parts off my floor.
Are you really excited to get excited?
I'm excited to get excited. All right, first step, rear shock. I gotta figure out exactly which way this goes. Okay, we got all that on.
Wow, Craig, that was amazing how you just popped that thing in miraculously.
Oh, piece of cake, man.
Dude, I can't believe we lost that footage, though.
Piece of cake. Well, you got one job, Dan. Don't let the camera batteries die.
Well,
actually, the power was going on and off, and there's a hurricane hitting right now.
Hurricane. There was shop gnomes coming in.
There's a lot going on. Let's put these front forks on. As fun as shock gnomes are, let's get some work done. Unfortunately, this fork leg isn't the nicest. I got some pitting on it and stuff, but it's out of the working zone of the fork. So I'm just gonna spin it to the inside and hide it. Right?
Some trickery right there.
Sure is. I'm just gonna put these both to the line and then I can adjust once needed. Maybe just had a little paint residue on the edges here, the tops of these triple clamps. It's funny, like a lot of people comment are like, why'd you paint the top triple clamp black and leave the bottom one silver? Hey, honestly, that's just the way Honda did it, so that's the way I did it. If you look, I believe that bike over there is the same way, the white one. But any pictures you pull up online will show you that one was black and this one stayed raw. So I didn't pick the colors, Honda did. Yell at them. Okay, next step. Let me grab the axles and some of those parts, and we're going to throw the wheels on. Dan, don't look at this. All right, here's the deal with the Busa, guys. I told you already once, when I ordered ahead, I ordered the wrong one, and yada, yada. That kind of set me back a little bit. And then when BJ was here and we were working on the CX500, I pulled a really, really boneheaded move, and I dropped the clutch basket off the workbench and broke it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and that really upset me. So I decided I needed to clear my head, take a step back. Had a couple other projects here I wanted to get done. Then we're back on the Busa. It's going to be really shortly, but sometimes you just have to walk away. I went as far as taking the bike, loading it up, and moving it out of my shop to some disclosed location so I didn't have to see it every day. That's how mad I was. What were we doing? This is what we were doing. Okay. So now we're gonna wipe off the sealant that we had these soaking in, and they have a good coating now, and rust should not be an issue. I'm actually gonna leave it on. Okay, this is my brake side. Dan, we're gonna have to lift this bike quite a bit. Stop. So the astute amongst you may notice there isn't a rear sprocket on this right now. And that's because it's probably on the male donkey's back. It'll probably show up in an hour from now, but we ain't have time. Oh, we spent all that time and all that work. Look at this. This is what dreams are made of, Dan. Do you know what I learned last night at about 10:30 at night?
Tell me what you learned last night at about 10:30 at night.
I'm not an upholsterer. Do you know what I learned last night at about 10:30 at night?
Tell me what you learned last night at about 10:30 at night.
Greg is not an upholsterer. And then, I'm not quite ready to do this yet, but I'm gonna give you a little sneak peek. Oh. Do they go high or low? Ooh. I think high. Ooh. I think they go high. I gotta look to see how they're set. Ooh. Huh? Yeah, dude. Kind of figure out how it'll sit the nicest. Probably somewhere like right there. Oh, the tank might be so shiny and polishy, the tape won't stick. Put my heart and soul into polishing that tank. Oh yeah? I don't know if any of this footage has made it into the video or not, but here's what happened. Greg, I hate to call people out, but you know, really screwed up on this one. And he forgot to order the engine bearings. So we were really hoping we were gonna get this engine put together and have this all finished and yada, 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 till we realized he's not the sharpest pin in the shed and forgot to order bearings. But they did come actually yesterday. That's for next time, I guess. I'm really excited about this bike and I'm really excited to get it finished. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. Dan's gonna throw a video here and here. Check those out. I know you're gonna love them. See you later. Thanks for watching. Click my Trainwell link to get 14 days free with your own expert personal trainer.